Hello. In this video, we're going to look at doing a little upgrade to the cannon. We're going to give it a recoil animation. So we're going to rebuild the main gun. So we'll replace this scene and try getting a first animation out of Blender into Godot. So we'll start off in the blend file. This is my tank blend. I've just disappeared the turret and the tank out of the scene, so we're not looking at it. And we'll just use the old gun for a size reference. So we'll take it into edit mode, select all, snap cursor to the center of that. Add in a cylinder, F9 to call up its dialog. We'll dial this back to 16 vertices. It'll need to be rotated on Y by 90 degrees. And we'll bring in the radius. Let's go into X-ray so we can see a little bit better. Wireframe. So yeah, that looks about right. So we'll just try to reselect that. We'll pull that back to more or less the start of this end of the muzzle. We can shift duplicate it, move this to the other end, and that pretty much takes care of our scale. So we can deselect and try to select the old gun. So we'll just use L and look for selecting the old gun. That's got it. And delete that. We'll select this part. Let's grab this and move it up a bunch. We'll grab the rest of it. Let's look at it from a view we can see better. We'll extrude, scale, shift limiting X. That means it won't get any longer, it'll just get fatter. We'll bring that up and bring it up by a fair amount, because the lesson from the crate is to exaggerate things a little bit. So we want it to be exaggerated so that it's actually visible in Godot, and it makes it more visible. So let's limit that to and bring it up just a little bit more. Then we'll try to select the rest of that if we can. Oh, I'm not sure why that's separated like that. That's a little bit of a mystery to me. I'm going to delete that part because we don't need that kind of a complication here. I'm not sure why that's separated. That's a little bit odd. So let's get this part. Control plus. Extrude, scale, shift, limiting X. This time we'll just scale it in. See if we're getting all of the faces we want here. We want that to have a solid appearance. Oh, I forgot to take off the end caps, so that's actually going to be an issue. Let's look at things in faces, and we'll just have to deal with this. Okay, the rest of that'll be fine, but we can't have those faces. It's just not going to look good. So we'll extrude one last time, scale, shift, limit X. and extrude and pull this down the barrel. And that should get things the way that we want them. So I just use Control Plus to select the entire piece, P to separate that selection. Let's just grab it up. So tab into object mode, we'll grab this and make sure things look the way we want them to look. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to make an animation that's only 7 frames long. We're going to insert a location. The gun is on the origin, the world origin, and its origin is still located where we want the gun to rotate. So both origins are in the same place here. So we'll insert that location keyframe, Shift D, duplicate it, pull it to the end of the animation, and the gun recoil part is only going to be 2 frames. We'll pull it back to about there. That should work okay. That might be a little bit much, but no, that's okay. So we'll just play the animation to see what we're getting there. And that's it. It's not much of an animation, right? So we can select these two, File, Export Collada. We want to make sure we're exporting selection only. The animation will be included already. So we'll go into imports. I'm going to change the name of this to main gun. So that exported to objects, and I've imported this with other variations of names. If I was to import it with the same name as I've imported before, it tends to cause a lot of errors, and it's something that seems to hang Godot up quite a bit, because there's errors in Godot that probably are saying that not everything is quite working the way it should be. So we'll add a clip. This is an animation clip. We'll call it Recoil. It had a start frame of 1, an end frame of 7. So now we're importing the animation specifically, specifying the frame numbers and name. So we'll re-import that. We'll open this scene up and see what we got. Everything looks okay. The animation player has a recoil animation. It seems to be showing the length of time for the animation to be much longer than it is. So let's dial this back to 0.23, because we don't want dead time on the animation for no reason. And we can just play that to get an idea what we get out of it. That should be okay. That looks alright. So let's look at tank turret. Actually, we have to save this scene. And we need to add in the muzzle also. We don't want to forget the muzzle. So we'll add in muzzle. I think on the muzzle, I'm actually not going to pull it as far back and have the shell spawn on the inside more and see how that looks. So we'll try it like that, and we'll save scene as main gun and tank parts. So we'll save that. Now when it comes to the tank turret, to modify the tank turret, all we have to do is drag and drop that. So we can take main gun scene and drag it onto the old gun. And let me just check here what I did with that animation player. Did I leave that? Looks like the new gun is a little bit shorter than the old gun. we'll just see how that comes across. If that turns into being a problem, then we'll change it. So we drag it onto the old gun to locate it. We could have a look at that and see if part of our distance is from there. So let's reparent it because it's now in the right location. We'll get rid of this gun. So we'll delete that. Okay. And yeah, our gun's a little bit shorter and a little bit smaller. But that's okay. We'll just leave that. So we'll save this. This one doesn't matter, but we'll save it anyways and we'll keep it. The shell, I was thinking the shell is going too slow, so let's double that speed. We'll double the speed of the shell and save that. In the tank, we'll need to add in the animation because this is where the shoot function happens. So $sign. Let's check tank. We're going to want to change this. We either have to change this or this. So I think we can change it right here. Main gun. And let's just copy and paste that anywhere we need it. Need that change. Then we would be $sign main gun animation player dot play recoil. So that should be good. And as long as that's the only reference to main gun. Oh, I put that in the wrong place. That's not where this happens. That needs to get cut out of this. That needs to happen in tank when it gets shot. Let's paste that in there. That doesn't need that space. Okay. So this needs to be main gun. So we'll paste that in there and just fix the rest. Oh, that was a mistake. Let's undo that. And we'll just type it in. And this one should be main gun. Okay, that looks like that's got everything. So we'll come into the floor and we'll just run that, see if it works. And I anticipate there shouldn't be any problems there. Gun's a little bit smaller. Maybe I'll go back and change the size of it. But because it's entirely likely, a lot of these graphics are going to get changed. I can change that later on. Okay, what went on here? Oh, I see what's going on. There should be tank turret. Main gun. So got a bad address there. So that animation's pretty good. Like, it works, it gives the appearance it's supposed to. In the next video, we'll come back and see if we can muddle our way through getting a muzzle flash and some smoke coming out of it. And it's just about time to get the crate exploding as well. So yeah, we'll come back with particles next time with smoke and fire kind of stuff. And get our destruction a little more flashier. And yeah, until then, take care.